the first thing we have to talk about right off the bat, since we haven't done a show in a couple of weeks. Um, the wrestling world lost one hell of a wrestler last Tuesday, the 18th. But perhaps more importantly, it lost what seems to have been a very good man, a father, a husband, and just someone that everyone seems to love. Jay Briscoe died in an accident uh, Tuesday. His two daughters were in the truck with him. They were in critical condition. The last I'd heard was that they are, and here's a picture of them there. The last I'd heard was that the oldest one was the one that was the more severely injured one, but she had feeling again in her extremities, and she was able to move her toes and her feet around. And so we're getting good news on their end, thankfully. Um, but yeah, just a heartbreaking and tragic story here. We've got um, and it's tough to watch, but here's just because of how mute it. But this video came from Ring of Honor in 2020, in April of 2020 during the pandemic, and his daughter, it was during the shutdown, so she couldn't go to cheer practice, so he helped her practice her routines, and it's just a heartwarming, and now heartbreaking video to see here. Tony, what are your thoughts on the passing of Jay Briscoe?
Man, that Best in the World 2014 is the first time I ever saw a Briscoe brothers match. Uh, and ever since then, like, I followed their career very closely because, believe it or not, I have relatives that are the Briscoe brothers to a T. Um, the part, then, like, it's getting me more now than it was when we first recorded this on Tuesday, because yesterday was Jay Briscoe's birthday. Yesterday was also my daughter's birthday. Um, so, like, you just, like,
Oh
put into
yeah,
context that everything that had happened with not only Jay but both of his daughters. And I'm sitting at dinner last night with my kid, and I'm just looking at her like, not even be able to begin to fathom what the Pew family is going through, and how difficult it is for me to even, like, try and be in that situation, like, mentally prepare for what could potentially happen in the future. And I think that I commentary last night on Dynamite during the Mark Briscoe match, and what the Young Buck said on being the elite, like, it's all 100% true. Put pay differences aside, say I love you to people more often, and just be grateful for the time that we have with everybody. I mean, I feel like that's something that we keep saying on here more and more because of the amount of passings that happen in professional wrestling. But, you know, 37 years old, I believe he was 38.
he was
I
38.
mean,
He was just just a few days away from 39.
yeah, that's the important part.
And yeah, I just turned 37, so I don't have any children, but such a young age, and I never, I've never been an indie wrestling guy. I'm starting to branch out more and more through this show and through Tony. But even despite that, I've always heard of the Briscoes, and I always, the Briscoes. Yeah, sure. Jack and Jerry. They're Jack's long gone. Who are we talking about wrestling for Ring of Honor? Who are they related somehow? The Briscoes are the original Briscoes were big here in Tampa. So of course I know them well, but I've always heard about them and how good they were, and always Ring of Honor stalwarts. But I never really got to really watch them until, the first match with FTR last year, and then that whole trilogy of matches was so good. Um, and again, the one advantage we have here with everything that happened with not being able to post the show we recorded on Tuesday is we get to talk about last night and the emotional match Mark Briscoe on Dynamite against Jay Lethal, who obviously through Ring of Honor and other places was a longtime rival of the Briscoes and of Jay. It was a heck of a match, great match. Which, I mean, the moment Jay comes out and they close up on his face and you can see the emotion on his face, I'm immediately in tears. What did you think of that match and of the moment here at the end?
Even long before that, when they played the video package for Jay Briscoe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was for Jay Briscoe and his kids. They really highlighted how good of a person he was and how much a family man Jay was. And then, the second Jay Lethal walked out on the stage, I'm sitting on the couch watching it, and he starts tearing up, and game over, dude. I mean, shit. I'm getting teary-eyed watching, talking about this, but last night, the match itself was beautiful. Very fitting tribute to a man that gave so much to professional wrestling. Just like Ian Riccaboni said on commentary last night, a guy who gave so much to professional wrestling that maybe a lot of people don't even know how much he truly gave to professional wrestling. Some of the things that we see in the NXT developmental right now that wouldn't be there if not for the Briscoe brothers. And then seeing Mark throughout the match and breaking, he was really good at pulling it back together, but
yeah.
And then just the moment at the end, everybody comes out to the ramp and seeing Roosh wearing those sunglasses, but you could still see by his lips and tears that he was losing it. Seeing Bryan Danielson in the back and his sling just losing it. Like everybody, the names on that stage and how emotional they were, all of it just tells you. I mean, just to share a quick story last night. Everybody knows Pro Wrestling Tees. They host the Shop AEW and the Shop Honor. They're selling the Jay Briscoe tee. 100% of the proceeds go to the Pugh family. What most people don't know is most of the proceeds from all the other Briscoe brothers merch that's on ProWrestlingTees.com also goes to the Pugh family. When they announced the Jay shirt, I bought the Jay shirt. Last night went back to go buy another Briscoe brothers shirt. I was in line at checkout. Keep in mind, at checkout on a website for 1 hour after Dynamite went off the air. And I can guarantee you that was all because of the Jay shirt that they were showing at the end of that match. Just think, when is the last time they announced the new t-shirt and you go in to buy it that night and you can't get through with your purchase on a website?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have, because the proceeds of that shirt 100% go to the Briscoe or go to the Pugh family. I'll have the link to that shirt, or at least to shophonor.com. If I can't link the shirt directly, and I'll also have a link to the GoFundMe for the family in the YouTube description down below. You can just click on it. It'll be in this description for if you're listening to this on a podcast app. It'll be there too. You can just copy and paste it if possible. But I'll have that link in the description 100% for sure.
Preceding announcement has been paid for by Bomb Media Productions.